Yo, can you hear me? We good? There we go.
What's up?
Hang on, your mic ain't the right mic, or it's far away from me. There we go. What's going on?
Like, wait a second, something's missing. You know, the world is a dumpster fire, and we are just part of it.
Nothing new, unfortunately.
Nothing new. My camera is not straight, and it's going to drive me absolutely insane. So hold on.
Let me see if I can move you. Let me see if I can move you in the thing. No, I can't. But next week I'll be able to.
All good. 1 second.
Still,
Did that fix it?
for the most part.
As long as the mic is in the middle.
You can.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
There we go.
That's better. Will you do me a favor and send me the link to this actual deal? Actually, because I was trying to think if I could just should I just post the link or post the page to let everybody know? To let everybody know we're on.
Post the link.
Okay.
So
you know what else I just realized is
what's that?
I just realized that the YouTube that is connected, like the YouTube that I'm streaming from here, is actually my official Patriot Gear page. It's not Ian Wentz Show. I just realized that. That's all right, though. It's all good. I'm going to go live and just let everybody know we're on. Yeah. So, what's new, man?
You know, just loving fat people, enjoying. I'm in recovery.
You're in recovery.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny. You're hungry all the time.
I'm hungry all the time. I'm hungry as we speak right now.
Oh, damn it. Where's that freaking link? I just tried to post the link and it didn't do it. All right, here we go. Share, copy link, sound off on purpose. Join us here.
Yeah.
All right. It's so funny because people still message me and say, I can't hear the sound. It's like, yes, I know.
That is
all right. Yeah, so let's jump into it. Not just your hunger and you loving fat people, but you know.
I love fat people. I can't get enough of fat people, but anyway, enough about me.
You're a chubby chaser?
No, I'm not. There's a difference between loving people and loving fat people and pursuing fat people.
You walked into that one.
I did.
Yeah, interesting things, man. You want to just pull it up and we'll just talk about it?
Yeah. Well, have we done this since the whole DOJ thing?
No. Yes, we did, because it was right when we were talking about it's the freaking episode that got pulled. I thought we talked about it.
When did that DOJ statement come out, though?
You might be right. It might have happened after that.
Because I feel like that's we haven't even really.
We could talk about the DOJ statement.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to pull up the DOJ statement. I'm just asking the question of like, have we even talked about this whole Epstein thing? Like, I don't think we've talked about it since it all went down and they closed the case or whatever last week.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. It's just been it's just been absolutely saturating the news. I mean, it's crazy, right? It's like for the longest time we talk about Epstein. I saw a tweet today that was made by the handle. I can't remember the exact handle. The handle was like "The storm is coming" or something like that. And they literally were like, yeah, and they were literally like gaslighting everybody, like Trump didn't just run on the Epstein files, and like we have to realize all the things that he's done that are good. And I literally messaged it, I commented, and I was like, your entire handle, the name of your account, is based off of the fake operation that you believed was happening because of QAnon and the storm that was coming to reveal the deep state, which was involved in pedophilia, human trafficking, and child sex abuse. And you're telling us to chill? Like, it's just wild, man. Like, all of a sudden now there is no list, and there's absolutely, and he absolutely killed himself. Oh, and by the way, there's no sign of blackmail. Like, no, there's just no connection to blackmail. And yeah, I mean, I don't think we've actually talked about it since the DOJ released that statement, but you know, it's just,
I'm trying to pull up that tweet.
The gaslighting is wild.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some.
Oh, the one that I commented on?
Yes.
It'll be in my replies. If
I got it.
Up X. Yeah. Yep, there it is. It's just like, it's so asinine, dude. Seeing all these people try to like gaslight us and try to flip the script all of a sudden now. It's like I talked to Ian Smith earlier about this actually for, 10 or 15 minutes on the phone. And it's just like, these people built businesses, right? Like this MAGA movement, so much of this MAGA movement is a business. And these people have built businesses on this whole thing. And now they're having to backtrack and justify, and like they're having to like find ways to justify what's happening so that they can continue to keep their businesses running.
Right.
And it's insane to watch. And then you have people like freaking, I don't even want to mention him because I don't want to give him any more airtime than he's already getting. But
Charlie Kirk.
Oh no. Charlie Kirk's a whole other thing. I was talking about the freaking misfit patriot dude. He literally has a tattoo of Trump on his leg. It's like, that's bro.
Dumb. So yeah, I mean,
like, what do you do now? You got this guy on your leg forever.
You cannot trust anybody at all who is receiving money from anything having to do with one side or the other.
No.
Like, period, end of story. Like, that should automatically be like, okay, they're not trustworthy. Like, look at Charlie Kirk. Yes, he has an organization that, it's not like he's being, well, he is kind of being paid by the Trump.
No, dude.
Campaign. Like 100% he is, but
for sure.
But
yeah.
But even I don't know. There's just a lot of people that that have a very clear incentive, even if they're not like the Harry Sisson types that are like, there's actually clear, documentation that they're getting paid money from, political candidates.
Yep.
Even if it's just their business model of shilling for having liberal tears on a t-shirt, or just, selling fucking MAGA hats or whatever, like even those type of people can't be trusted, because again, they're clearly siding with one side. And once you plant that flag, you're basically choosing between your values or your business. So,
yep. Yeah. And I mean, so here's the thing about Charlie, right? Like I actually just did a full live stream of Charlie's debate with Dave Smith and Josh Hammer. And to Charlie's credit, the fact that he was willing to put that on the stage at Turning Point and because the entire debate was about Israel. To his credit,
I am very surprised that they allowed that conversation.
Well, you could tell that there were certain talking points that had to be touched in order to make it possible.
I didn't watch that debate. I watched clips of it. There's one particular one where Dave Smith is being asked if Israel's an ally that I thought was just a perfect answer.
No.
Well, yeah, no, but the elaboration was great as well. But I'm also surprised that they allowed Tucker Carlson on the stage after everything that's been going on with him.
Oh, for sure. Like, that's what I'm saying. So like, to his credit, the fact that he was willing to do that. But what's really funny is if you watched the meltdown afterwards and the hate that Charlie got, it was like super overwhelming, to the point where he had to make a reaction video and be like, yo, I didn't say this. I didn't say this. I didn't say that. I didn't, like, basically kind of like backtrack. And then unfortunately, ever since, all of his tweets have been about, we got to trust Trump. Like they know they know better, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, yeah, when you build your entire empire off of, voting for and campaigning for Trump, then you have a line that you now have to toe.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see this shift of people who are going to start to realize like, oh, wait, all of the people who didn't hitch their wagon to MAGA, like they saw it coming, it's just a reality. It's what I did too with my business. Like I saw it coming from a mile away. MAGA's going to die. Trump's going to die. Like all those things are going to die eventually. And also they're subject to the decisions and the mistakes that person makes when you build something around one person. Right. But the idea of patriotism, the idea of America first, the idea of the things that was supposed to stand for, those things will never die.
Right.
Because those things are the movement.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. You're definitely seeing the separation of the wheat and the chaff here in terms of, people that are about the values and people that are about the person.
Yep.
And
exactly.
honestly, like we kind of touched on this last time, but there are so many people that I just can't believe are still defending this guy. And even if you're not fully, you don't have to fully be off the Trump train. I know intelligent people that have good takes that are skeptical, but they're still like, let's just wait and see what Trump does, because obviously, and I kind of have that position too, even though I'm a little more off the Trump train than probably most of the people that I'm talking about. They have a much more reasonable take, which is like, I want to trust Trump. I want to like Trump. I want it all to work out. I want to have my cake and eat it too, where, the Epstein files come out and everybody gets held accountable and Trump's the guy that does it and we can all love Trump. But at this point, I don't think that those things are going to happen. I don't think we're going to get all those. But there are still people that it's so clear that they are paid, even though they're not like Charlie Kirk level of obvious in terms of their financial interest in promoting whatever Trump says. It is very, very obvious that these people have some sort of interest in towing the Trump line, even though it's not as explicit as Charlie Kirk or Turning Point or Laura Loomer or whatever.
Yeah. And I actually said this on my, I just did an episode. I don't know if you caught it yet, dude, but it's actually a really good episode. You should watch it. But I did an episode with Ian Carroll on my podcast. I've watched about
half of it so far.
What'd you think? I'm curious. Did you think it was pretty good? What'd you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I just got to, well, I can't say it was all good because I'm only halfway through it, but
yeah.
But I mean,
so far good flow though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it touched on all the important stuff, at least that so far, the Epstein.
Did you get to the aliens and the giant ground sloths yet?
Of course. Yes. Yep.
That was the best part, dude.
Important stuff. But yeah, he went deep on Epstein, which was good, and really dug into the background, which I thought was, I learned a lot. I didn't know a lot of that stuff.
And honestly, what's crazy is that was such a surface level take still. Like he didn't even tap into half of the crap from, these books, like the ones I told you about, the One Nation Under Blackmail, like, dude, it is so dense. And it goes all the way back to like the freaking, mobs, the Jewish mob, the Italian mob, all these different mobs that started like the crime syndicate way back when. And it all goes back to then. Anyway, what I was going to say though, there was a part, I don't know if you got to it yet, cause I can't remember what part it is, but there's a part where we were talking about the Trump thing. And I was like, I basically said, like, I think things have been so hopeless for so long that it's gotten to a point where people just want hope again. They just want something to hope in. And so, or to hope for. And so they created this idea of this guy who was going to come in and make it all better again. And like all of their hope was like revolved around this one guy, right? Because they needed it. They needed that white knight in order to feel like there was some semblance of hope again to get our country back, to, get accountability, get declassification, like all these different things. And so what you're seeing now, I think, is the breakdown even further, which is really sad, of that hope that people built up in their minds. Because even the people that were the most staunch Trump supporters after today's statement, like so many of them are like, they feel, they just feel like hope, like literally hopeless. I mean, they just don't know what to do. They're like, well, if that was all a lie, then now what? Right. And it's the same thing about like how people like you and I and Andy and Ian and all these other people have been saying, you cannot root your hope in one person or the outcome that comes from one person making certain decisions. It has to be based on you and what you do for your people, for yourself, to, better yourself and better your people.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, like we shit on the Q narrative a lot and we make fun of those people, but the only method of cleaning house the way that we want it to be cleaned is exactly what the Q narrative lays out. Like that's literally in terms of it being all on one person, like in terms of putting your hope in a single person.
But it's us.
Right. Of course. Yeah. That's the real answer. That's the real solution is us. But in terms of, because people put all this stock into Trump and they're like, well, Trump is going to save us. It's like, well, you don't, in order for the swamp to truly be drained, and Trump being the orchestrator of that, what's going to have to happen is exactly what the Q people say is going to happen. Like he's going to have to utilize the military. He's going to have to court-martial a bunch of people. He's going to have to, it's going to be, and it'll be super ugly. And, but that's not going to happen, like, no, it's just not going to happen. And so then what, then it's like, okay, well, I think all of us have to come to the realization that we have to start thinking about what comes after Trump, because, and I've been saying this for a long time, like we all have to, think about what happens after Trump, because, even if he is a great president, which he still could be, even if he's a great president, he's 80 years old pretty much. And, he's going to die at some point. And,
right.
And I don't love the idea of JD Vance, Mr. Palantir, Peter Thiel's errand boy, being the successor to that.
Nope. No, I mean, and that's the scary thing. Sorry, I just posted the link again in my VIP, letting everybody know we're live. But that's the scary thing is like, and again, I think it goes back to this whole idea that people are like, if it's not him, who is it? Right. If he's not going to be the one to do what he said he's going to do, then who is? And the unfortunate thing is, like you said, the alternatives are not very good. JD is definitely not a great alternative. And then you have, you have people that I think will probably run. Like I think a Tucker Carlson's going to run for sure.
But I don't know. Matter. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the way that the power structure is set up, you can't have, like we talk about Andy running, right?
Yeah.
Andy can't. I'm not saying he can't win, but like chances are he's not going to win, not because of who he is or because of his message or because of
the power structure.
Because of the power structure. They won't allow someone like Andy Frisella or Tucker Carlson or anybody that is truly America first into that office. They will not let that happen.
Yeah.
Clearly at this point.
Yeah.
They'll let people say that they're America first. They'll let people posture that they are. They'll let them make promises, but money talks. And the money says you're going to do what we want you to do. Mm-hmm. And,
well, and that's why this situation with Elon is so interesting, because Elon put a ton of money into Trump's campaign. I mean, a ton. And what's so interesting is to watch that breakdown, and even watching like what Elon is saying on Twitter and all these other things. And like, it's like, did he really just pull the wool over all of our eyes? I mean, pull that Truth Social post up if you guys haven't. I mean, I think most people have seen it, but let's just pull it up real quick.
I just want to, before we jump into that, I want to say something about this because I just have a theory to toss out there.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because you know how Elon tweeted, that Trump was in the Epstein files, and he said, bookmark this tweet or whatever. And then here we are 6 weeks later, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's all anyone's talking about is the Epstein files. And
you think they're in on it together?
I don't know what I think. I just think it's interesting that happened the way that it did. Like they were buddy, right? Mm-hmm. And then they have this falling out. I put that in quotes intentionally. They have this falling out. And then he tweets that he's in the Epstein files. And then not 6 weeks later, they're like, oh, the Epstein files don't exist, blah, 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 blah. And it was kind of like I don't know. I don't even know what to call that or what to think the result of that was going to be if it was intentional. But I am questioning whether or not that was like a play that they ran, like I'll say that you're in the Epstein files, you're going to do this. Like, I wonder if they're, and again, I don't even know.
But then so I hear you, but my question would be like, if that's the case, then what's the outcome that they're looking for?
Exactly. What's the point of doing it?
Because he's burning his base to the ground. So is it to create another party?
Is it to create another party, or is it, is it to activate the people? Is it, what could it be? I don't know. All I'm pointing out is that it's kind of convenient that Trump and Elon have been like this entire time.
And then they break.
And Trump is doing what his biggest donors want him to do, right? Elon is one of his biggest donors. And then they have this falling out all of a sudden. He says this thing very specifically about the Epstein files, and then the Epstein files they shut the whole Epstein files things down. He says they're not even relevant and they don't exist. And it just seems bizarre to me when you look at that timeline.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It's so sloppy.
It's very sloppy. It's almost too sloppy.
Yeah, that's what we talked about on that episode with me and Ian. And Ian basically said, like, there's something missing. Like there's something missing that none of us are seeing that would make this whole weird, sloppy, crazy situation make sense. Because ultimately it looks like he's literally burning his base to the ground. It looks like he's saying,
and he's tripling and quadrupling down on it.
Which that's the weird. Yeah. And
right.
So I will say that one scenario, and it's a scary one, but it does make a lot of sense to me. And that is the Samson option. Mm-hmm. And I've said this a few times, and like Andy and I even talked about it. Like, if there was a actual credible nuclear threat, and it was basically like, if you don't stop this, this is what's going to happen. What would you do? It's like, because
I've thought about that.
Because the 180 to support Israel and allow them to continue to do what they're doing, and then on top of that, to bury the Epstein list, which we know for a fact is. And when I say the list, guys, just so you know, because I know people will call it out, it's not about a list. I know that there's probably not a list of names. It's about the files. It's about the video files. It's about the photos. It's about the phone records. It's about all the different things that you could use to compile the list, right? But the weird 180 to support Israel and what they're doing, and then on top of that, to completely bury this list and say, oh, they're the files, and say, oh, this isn't a real thing, and he didn't really die. And then on top of that, they've proven that they've now doctored the video in the freaking prison, and it's like all these other things. It's so sloppy.
And now he's calling it a Democrat hoax.
And now he's tripling and quadrupling down on this whole idea that it's now a Democrat hoax, and that it was made up like the Russiagate thing was made up. And to the point where
Like,
he's calling his base weaklings.
How do you make that up when there's literal flight logs and like he was actually arrested and convicted of crimes related to?
And Ghislaine is in jail for 20 years. Like,
but
you
it's
can't
a Democrat hoax. It's all made up. There's no files. There's no nothing. Even though they were on Pam Bondi's desk. This is what I mean. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. It's too sloppy. It's too like I really, and I give these people, I think that these people are compromised, but I don't think they're stupid. I don't think they're this stupid.
That's what I said. That's what I said on the podcast. I said, look, like this is ultimately where I come, or where I go. Like the fact that Roy Cohn was Trump's like Trump was Roy Cohn's basically his apprentice. For those of you guys that don't know who Roy Cohn is like one of the most notorious. You could, if you want to pull up information about him, you could. By the way, I don't do cocaine. I just have a really itchy nose today because I have crazy allergies, just in case anybody's wondering. But yeah, he was one of the most notorious individuals when it came to blackmail and basically running blackmail operations. Like, he was a master of putting important people in compromising situations and then understanding how to use it against them. He was also a homosexual that preyed on other closet homosexuals like Hoover, right? And we all know if you know who Hoover was literally the director of the FBI. So he was quite literally in bed with Hoover for years and years. And he was constantly finding powerful people to put in compromising situations and then use it against them. So the fact that Trump was around this guy so much and he saw it being done so much, I can't believe that Trump would be so stupid to put himself in a situation like being on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
I think there's more of a chance that the blackmail on Trump is different. Like, for me, it's such low-hanging fruit to say, oh, Trump's on the list. Like, I don't think he's on the list or in the files necessarily, because it would have been used against him before. I think it's more probable, and I got so much hate for saying this, by the way, but I think it's more probable that he's, number one, concerned with actual national security threat, or number two, and this is what I got the hate for, there are many alleged reports that Epstein introduced Trump to Melania. And the thing I got hate for was because I called Melania a porn star. Now, I understand that most people nowadays look at porn like video content, okay? But you have to understand, when Melania was doing nude shoots and posing for Playboy, which she did, by the way, that's not made up. You can go look it up. It's not doctored. It's not photoshopped. It's not fake. It's real. And for those people that say, well, why didn't the Democrats use it against Trump? They did in 2015 and 2016. They talked about it all over the mainstream media, how he was married to a porn star, blah, blah, blah. So this is not like new news. But back then, porn was in a magazine. It was read. It was looked at, right? It wasn't video. So I have all these people coming at me because they're like, oh, show me a video where she's a porn star. And I'm like, that doesn't exist, because this was in like the freaking 70s and 80s, right? But my point is, I think it's more of a chance that the blackmail is on his family or a potential national security threat than it is like, oh, he's in the files and he's diddling kids. Like, if he really wanted to do that, he was so rich and so powerful, he could have done it in his penthouse and nobody would know. I can't think that Trump would be stupid enough to put himself in a compromising situation like that. And so it's like there's something missing. I don't know what it is, but there's something missing that would make all of this make sense, because right now, quite frankly, it makes no sense. It's a dumpster fire. I mean, it's like mind-boggling ridiculous when you actually look at the situation from a 100-foot view.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at his campaigns, and like he is, I'm not saying he's the best at it by any stretch of the imagination, but Trump and his team have been good enough at positioning and conveying a message and spinning things in Trump's favor, right? And to get public support, or like he's very good at getting elected, right? And that's just PR. Like the game of getting elected is mostly PR and
marketing. It's marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
So that's why this is so confusing to me, because he has historically positioned himself very well to appeal to the American people. And now all of a sudden he seems like he has no idea what he's doing. And he has his finger completely off the pulse of what people are thinking and what people want. And honestly, like it just makes me wonder if it's intentional. And I'm not trying to be a 5D chess, trust the plan type guy. What I'm saying though, is it's too big of a blunder for me to believe that they're
actually this retarded.
Blunder.
It's like, yeah, I know. I mean, I had to, I took a little bit of a step back with this whole administration. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this friend of mine is definitely not a conservative. I wouldn't say they're like crazy liberal either, but they're definitely left leaning. And it was an interesting conversation because they said, look, if you look at the actual people that he put in power, like look at the Pam Bondis, look at the Kash Patels, look at the Bonginos, what do they actually have as far as credibility goes to be in the position that they're in? And, you can find things here and there, but like at the end of the day, they basically are loyalists to Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ultimately what they are. Like they're just yes men and yes women.
Right.
They're the people that campaigned through their podcasts or through their social media for years and years and years on MAGA, 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 Trump, Trump, Trump. He can do no wrong. He's like, just basically the fanboys and the fangirls of Trump.
I'd make two exceptions there, though. I would say Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. are not.
100%. Oh, for sure. And that's why it's like, okay, so now, and that actually is a great segue because it brings me to the point of, okay, so I agree. I agree that Tulsi and and RFK are 100% not in that category. But now what do we know about RFK and what do we know about Tulsi? How many times has it seemed like the things that RFK said he wanted to accomplish, he's being blocked from being able to actually accomplish? And then even Tulsi, right? Tulsi literally came out and said, when was this? That she said
there was no nukes in Iran.
Yeah. She said there's no nukes. The literal, like she said, there's no nukes. And then sure enough, Israel bombs Iran. And then the next day, what does she say? Oh, no, we were wrong. They're there. And it's like,
yeah,
it seems like the people who are actually speaking out against it or like actually want to make a difference. Because I do believe RFK wants to make a difference. I think that there's been some weird things that have happened with RFK, especially with like vaccines and things like that, that I'm like, but so much of me is like, how much of that is actually in his control and how much of that is being controlled by others?
Yeah.
And more powerful people around him are basically putting their boot on his face. Right. But these other guys, Kash, Bongino, Pam, they seem like they're just towing the line. I mean, Bongino almost left apparently, which whatever, but still like, you got to look at that and say, did he surround himself with the right people, or did he just surround himself with a bunch of people that loved him and now they're trying to figure shit out? And the reality is none of them actually know what they're doing. And it is just an absolute dumpster fire in there. I don't know. I mean, Pam is supposedly the one that created the whole Bindergate thing. Like supposedly Pam's the one that came up with the binders and decided to make it a whole charade. And
yeah, but Kash Patel and Bongino, to me, I don't know too much about Pam Bondi. I know she's, kind of done what she needs to do to move her career forward. But as far as Bongino and Kash Patel, those are really the ones that confuse me, because if it was simply a lack of knowing what they're doing, if there was anything in those Epstein files that was worth talking about, they would have said it. Right. So something stopped them from doing that. Something did.
So the question is, what was it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was a lack of knowing what to do. I mean, because that's a pretty simple procedure. Get me the Epstein
just
files.
release the files.
Right. Hit upload the PDF and then click upload. Like that's it.
Create a bunch of, if you have to censor things, censor it, but like push a button.
Yeah. So it just makes me wonder. I think, and the question becomes too, another question is, let's say that something, I think there's two possibilities. They got their hands on the Epstein files. There was what we thought was in there, and somebody more powerful than them told them not to release it. That's one option. The second option is they got them and there was truly nothing in there because it's all been wiped clean the last 4 years or during some other period of time.
Yeah, but that one doesn't clock because Pam Bondi literally said, she said a couple things. She said, there's a truck full of files outside of the office. I have a pile full of files on my desk. I have hundreds of thousands of hours of videotape. Like, that's the problem. That's the one that does it. Because I'm with you. I think that there's definitely a possibility that things could be like changed or deleted or whatever, or like the previous administration could have messed with things. But like, and the problem is we know it's not nothing because they've said that it's something.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, and I'm with you. I agree with you. I'm the thing that makes it obvious for me is that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are clearly lying when they speak. Like it's not even
clearly. You can tell. Yeah, you can 100% tell.
Right, especially on Rogan. You know I found it very interesting when Elon tweeted the thing about Trump being in the Epstein files, and then Joe Rogan brought it up on the podcast, and Kash Patel did not immediately deny it.
Yeah, like he did, because you would think that like when he heard that he's like right, like, but you can tell the level of intentionality and passion. The way they talk now versus when they were talking
1,000%.
When they were just like a political, commentator or influencer or whatever.
They looked scared in that interview after, when they were talking about him, when that interview when Bongino and Kash were sitting next to each other and they said that he killed himself. They looked like they fucking saw a ghost, versus before it was very much speaking from the heart.
So look, it is worth mentioning something. And I mentioned this on my story today. The man standing next to Trump in that video where he says that it's a hoax and that people are stupid for believing it and goes off on his base and all that kind of stuff. That was Epstein's neighbor. And it was somebody who actually
Howard Lutnick.
Yes. Yeah. And it's actually somebody who has organized parties and campaigns for Hillary Clinton in 2015 and 2016 at his house.
Yeah.
Right next door to Epstein.
I've always disliked that guy ever since he had that big Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, I think it was. And Howard Lutnick spoke leading up to open for Trump or whatever, right? One of the early speakers. And I'm just like, I can't stand this guy. I don't know what it is about him, but I just don't like him. So seeing now that people are talking about him, I'm like, I got them instincts, bro.
Look, I'm just going to say this, and this is just, I think this is kind of the hill that I'm going to die on. Pizzagate's real, man. It's real. I don't know if it goes as deep as people think it does. I think that there's probably some sensationalism to it, but I believe it. Like, especially because it seems like every couple years it resurfaces and there's more things that happen that you're just like, how are all of these people that were at some point connected to this conspiracy, they keep popping up. It's not like they just go away. They keep popping up. And then on top of that, they don't only keep popping up. There's like weird things about them. And there's weird things that they're involved in or weird things that they're put in charge of. And like, it's happened so many times with this guy, with Anthony Weiner, with, Uma Abedin, like all these people that were at the center of that conspiracy keep on popping up as the years go by. And they're always connected to the Clintons or the Obamas or all these different like weird circumstances and things, right? And so somebody actually just said something in the comments that was really interesting that I have not considered. He said maybe Epstein and Trump were both intel assets going back decades. I will be honest with you, that would not be something that I would totally rule out. That's not a bad, that's actually a pretty interesting take, man.
It's interesting, but like I'd have to think back on like.
You'd have to do some research and go back and see if there was any sign that he could have been, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. That's an interesting take. I never thought about that one. And if that's the case, you know, we know how corrupt the FBI is and how corrupt the CIA is. And so if that's the case, then we really are just screwed. It's like we are done. If he's an informant for the FBI and he's involved in the CIA and now he's the president of the United States, we're screwed. And honestly, if that's the case, it also makes a hell of a lot more sense why we are so tied to Israel right now.
I don't know. I have to look into that one. I don't know. I can't.
It's interesting. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
Very interesting.
Mulderer. I'm not
it's
sure.
It's definitely an interesting thought experiment. You know, as to it would definitely make a really good like novel.
Oh, dude, I've been saying this for so long. You can make so many good movies out of the last few years. Like,
oh yeah,
they would be the bangers. Who would play the people? Who would play Trump? Who would play Netanyahu? Who would play all these people?
I don't know.
Scorsese would have to direct it.
Sebastian Stan actually did a pretty good job as Trump. But who's got to play Trump is help me out here. The comedian.
Oh, the guy that's like he actually sounds like Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I'm
blanking on his name. Fish?
Nope.
No, he does a good job, but it's not him. It's the other guy.
He's like one of the most famous comedians. It's driving me nuts that he's not. I'm blanking on his name, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about though. That would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just, Shane Gillis. Is it Shane
Gillis? Thank you.
Is it Shane Gillis? Shane Gillis does a good impression, but that's not even who I was thinking about. I was thinking about another guy. I was thinking about the guy that comes on Kill Tony.
Yeah, that's Shane Gillis.
Is it Shane Gillis? Are you sure?
Yeah, the guy that dresses up as Trump and goes on Kill Tony.
It's Shane Gillis?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy. But anyway, them Trump being an intelligence asset, that's off the top of my head, that's a reach, but I think it'd be
I would say the same thing, but man, I don't know. It's one I haven't considered yet. For sure.
Alec Baldwin has the worst Trump impression.
Oh yeah, Alec Baldwin's awful.
But anyway, moving on. So where do we go from here? Because like we just wait and see, in my opinion.
Yeah, but every time you say wait and see, something else happens the next day. Like that's the other thing about this. It has been, think about it. Like we didn't even know if we did a video after the DOJ response because it's been so fast. The DOJ came out with it. Then it was this. Then it was that.
It was weeks ago, but it was like last week.
Yeah. I don't even think it was a full week ago. Like I think it was less than a week ago. And so much has happened since then that it's just like, it's insane. And
it's not going away. I have full confidence that people are not going to let this go. Since he got inaugurated, people have been saying, where are the Epstein files? And now with all this, it's just going to get louder. And the silence is going to be even more deafening, Yeah.
Well, and the problem too is it's like you said, we already kind of mentioned this, but it is worth mentioning again. Ghislaine is not in prison for nothing.
Right.
Right. It ultimately comes down to that. Even if you're somebody who believes that there's a possibility that any of this could have been fabricated by the Democrats, which is so out of the realm of actual possibility, in my opinion. But even if there's somebody who does believe that, well, then, okay, let Ghislaine out and have her testify. Because if that's the case, if it was a hoax, Ghislaine should be saying, oh, sick, I'm free. Like, Trump's going to free me because all I have to do is come out and out the Democrats, and then I'm good, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if that doesn't happen and she's still in jail, well, why is she in jail? Who did she help Epstein traffic kids to? Like, it's never going to stop. It's never going to go away because it can't, because there has to be an answer to that. And the thing that drives me nuts is like, it's like there's a way to do it, right? Like, let's just say that Kash Patel and Bongino and all these guys, and even Trump, let's say that they were just kind of running on this whole idea of Epstein because they actually believed that it was real, and they had all this information that everybody else does, and they drew all these lines, and they were like, yeah, this has to be real. And then they talked about it forever. And let's just say that Trump noticed that his base grasped onto it, and he was like, okay, this is great. Let's run with this. This is a great marketing tool. Let's use it to get me elected, blah, blah, blah. Let's just say all of that is real. And then let's say they get into office and they realize that they were wrong and that it really isn't what they thought it was. And there isn't really any actual incriminating evidence. And it's just one big dud, right? And it actually is a crazy conspiracy theory, and the truth about who they were and who the clients were and all this other stuff has been buried and is gone forever, right? Let's just say that that's the way that it all played out. Okay, so then say that. Like,
right.
come out.
We didn't, we got in there, we looked, and it was all gone.
But not like you've done it, because the way they've done it is like, yeah, just shut up, stop talking about it. Like, it's just not real. They've basically dismissed it, right? It would be totally different if somebody like Kash came out and said, look, listen, this is exactly what I thought was the case. And then when I actually got into these files that were brought over by X amount, by this many people, and they were these people that came from here, they dropped them down. We spent X amount of hours going through it. Here's the stuff that we found that was like kind of incriminating, but not really enough. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, what we actually found out was everything I have been talking about. Unfortunately, guys, like, I was just wrong. And there's not really anything that's incriminating. There probably was, because obviously she's not in jail. Like, this is his words, right? He's in jail. She's in jail. He's dead. Like, there's obviously reasons that all this happened, but the truth is, none of it is in front of us because the people that had it buried it. We don't know where it is. We will do what it takes to try and find it, but it's not there right now. And then Trump comes out and says,
files.
What's that?
Do what they did with the JFK files. Even if it's a nothing burger, give it to us anyway. Yes,
exactly. And then Trump says, hey guys, look, like, I know that this was something that we campaigned on and we ran on and we thought was real. And like, I knew him, and this is the experiences that I had with him that led me to believe that it probably was real, and this is why I ran with it. And he could even say, honestly, I still believe that it's real and that it's true and that this actually happened, but we just don't have anything to show you because whoever had it destroyed it. We don't know who that is. We're going to start investigating that, but that's where we're at. That would be like, it still would be kind of hard to believe for people, but it would be a lot easier to stomach than
don't talk
the files are fake. He killed himself. There's no blackmail. Just forget about it. And by the way, if you continue to think about it, you're retarded and you're weak and you're bad.
What I mean when I say it's too sloppy.
Yes.
It is too sloppy. It is almost like this is the thing that I said this to Andy, because he put out the story that, he's like, well, what would you do if let's say they said, we're going to kill your whole family, right?
Yeah, that's the exact night that I had the conversation with him too.
And,
yes.
And my response was, absolutely, I understand what you're saying. But if you wanted to truly squash it, what you would do is what they've done in the past with everything, which is you say nothing about it and you give people something else to talk about. That's what you
don't attack it head on.
Right. You don't, you shut the fuck up.
In a stupid way.
And you let them forget about it, and you create other stories. You create other narratives that they will talk about. And That's not what they did. Instead, they came out, they went out of their way to say, oh, by the way, it's all fake. Stop talking about it, blah, blah, blah. And let's say they just left it at that. Okay, maybe it's possible that they got threatened, they got spooked. They said, it's all fake, whatever. Let's just say that that's the case. I don't think it was. Yeah. Now, for some reason, they're still adding fuel to the fire. Trump hasn't had to post anything that he's posted. He hasn't had to answer any of the questions he's been asked, but he's answering them anyway. And he's continuously posting about about Epstein, telling people to not talk about it. Well, if you don't want people to talk about it,
he hasn't dropped it. It's weird. It's so weird. And to double and triple and quadruple and quintuple, whatever it is, down on this whole idea, and even to the point where you call your base out for it, it's so completely out of touch. And it's like, either there is something going on that none of us know, or he really is just retarded and just a stupid, manipulated boomer.
But history doesn't show that he's that stupid.
I know. And it doesn't show that so here's the thing. It doesn't show that he's stupid when it comes to business, but it doesn't tell us anything when it comes to understanding the new generational world. I mean, because dude, I'll be honest. I went to the RNC as one of the, I think they had 35 influencers or whatever that they flew out there this last RNC and took care of us. Bro, influencers probably have the most actual influence and ability to shift opinion. I think all of us can agree on that right now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the way they took care of us influencers, it was a box, a tiny little room that was all the way at the top of the arena where you could barely see anything. There was no AC. There was 2 tables. There was 6 chairs, 1 bar, 1 TV that didn't work, and water and granola bars and little bags of chips. Okay, and they crammed 35 of us into this tiny little room.
I understand that, but that is the Republican National Committee. That is a completely different organization. What we're talking about is Trump's team, the team who had him go on Theo Vaughn and the Nelk Boys and, all these different popular podcasts. And you have JD Vance, who sees all the JD Vance memes and is clearly on Twitter a lot. They have their finger on the pulse of what people are talking about. They know what the conversations are.
Yeah.
So they're not completely ignorant to it. Let's say Trump is completely ignorant to it. Fine. Let's say that. Is Kash Patel? Is Dan Bongino? Is JD Vance?
No, you're right. It has to be. There has to be something.
Is Trump Jr.? Is Barron? Is any of these people that are in Trump's ear?
Yeah, no one is saying anything. No one.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't think
it's good.
You don't think Barron doesn't pay attention to Gen Z talk about the Jews on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to find a way around it, but it really doesn't. It really just comes back to it's just there's something weird going on.
There is something weird going on. It is so. Again, I'm not trying to be 5D chess guy or trust the plan or just wait and see I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it feels like something is going to happen. That's all I can say. It feels like this is an intentional blunder to perhaps activate people or something. He's stirring the pot for some reason.
Yeah. But what's the reason?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
The only thing that I can come up with right now, and this is where we'll end because I have a hard stop. Only thing I can come up with is, and I hate to use this, but I think it is the thing that makes the most sense to me. Somebody is holding something over this guy's head, and he is absolutely desperate to squash it.
But again, if he wanted to squash it, he would just shut up.
I know, but I'm saying I think maybe when they finally held whatever it is over his head, I think it had already gone too far. It was almost to a place where it was how do we backtrack from this after we've gone so far with the binder gate and all this kind of stuff? Because the reality is he started to do this full 180 right after Bibi was in that White House, man. It was right after he met with him. It was right after he came into town and met with him and met with all the congressmen and had the podcast and had the different interviews. And then right after they started bombing the absolute hell out of Syria. And Trump's not doing anything about it. Dude, again, I have a hard stop, but right now they're bombing Damascus. And by the way, they just changed that regime. They just pulled out. They just switched Assad for Shara, and Shara is very pro-Israel and very toe the line. And now they are bombing the hell out of this place. Nobody's talking about it, and it's just another military conquest. Which at the same time, Bibi Netanyahu is supposed to be in court, but court was adjourned because of the bombing. And Trump's not doing anything about it. And that goes completely against everything he said about ceasefire and peace in the Middle East. But he's not doing anything. He's not talking about it. He's not doing anything about it. He's not acting. And so for me, I'm like, I think this guy's I think he has him by the balls. I really do. I don't see any other way around it. But,
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We'll have to keep speculating and
keep speculating, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, we always want to end this with what can we do, right? What can we do right now?
Not much about this.
What's that?
So we can't do much about this particular scenario, but we can not shut the fuck up. That's for sure.
Yeah, just get real loud.
Don't shut up.
Don't stop. Don't take your foot off the gas. Keep it going. Keep talking about it. And if you're one of those people that thinks you can't make a difference and you don't have a voice, it's not how it works. Everybody creates that one voice. So
for sure,
that's what I would say. That's where we end it. But
all right,
man. It was a good time. It was a good episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please hit subscribe. We will do this every single week on Wednesday, and make sure once the video posts, the actual video, please drop some comments in there. Share it up. We'll post some clips and stuff later, and we'll catch you guys later.
All right. Later.
See you, dude.